So today I'll be talking about the MSA220 from STIHL. It's a battery powered chainsaw that I'm really excited about. Let's just take a look at the saw and some of the specs, and then I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this chainsaw. So what we have here is a battery powered chainsaw that uses the same batteries as the MSA220C, the AP series of batteries. So you can use either the 100, 200 or 300 AP battery for this chainsaw. And I'll get back to that later. So this MSA220's got a 20% better cutting performance than the old MSA200CB. And I must say I was really surprised about the cutting performance of this baby right here. It really just performs really well compared to other battery powered saws. So let's take a look at it. I'll just let you know I don't have a battery in it right now. It's just like a cover thingy. So don't worry, I'm being safe. This chainsaw is designed with a Toolless chain tensioning system. So what you do is you loosen it up here, and then you can tighten the chain by just turning this wheel a bit. As you can see, the chain will now loosen up, and then if I turn it the other way, it will tighten the chain. So that's really neat. I actually was afraid that I would hate that system because, you know, working with professional chainsaws, you're always afraid of systems that are too, what should we call them? Homeowner like. But this is really nice because when you're in the tree, I use this a lot climbing, and when you're in the tree, it's really nice that you don't have to bring up your wrench or anything like that. So yes, it's a nice system, and it actually works really well. So you just loosen, and then you can either tighten or loosen or tighten your chain like that. So really nice system. Something that might be annoying with this system though is if I just take this off completely, the fact that this is actually attached to the bar. So you have to take that off in order to, say, swap the bar around, or just when you're taking off your chain, it's kind of stuck behind it. So yeah, it might be annoying, but just work with it. So let's put that back on. So yeah, that's the chain tensioning system. Actually works surprisingly well. What else? It's got, yeah, and I'm sorry, it's a dirty saw, but I just didn't want any of you saying that I haven't been using it, so I decided not to clean it before doing this video. So then we've got the translucent oil tank here, which is really nice because then you can see if it needs oil. Like right now, it's pretty empty. So this system will allow you to see without opening the oil cap if it needs more chainsaw oil. And that is a thing you should pay attention to with a battery saw, because it's really easy just to put in a new battery and continue working, and then you end up messing up your saw because it needs oil. So remember the oil. Like every time you change your battery, make sure to give it some oil too. And then the chainsaw is designed with metal bumper spikes. So that is of course really nice when you are cutting down trees, that you can press it into and then follow it around. I don't work with any chainsaws that don't have bumper spikes, because I really like working with that. We of course have the, I call it an aiming line. I don't know if it's really called something else, but you do have the aiming line going from all the way on top of the saw all the way down to the side. Always nice, and I love the aiming lines on the STIHL chainsaws. Then your chain brake is as Any other chain break stops the chain, but with the battery powered chainsaws, it's kind of like your only on-off button on this particular saw. So it's extremely important to remember your chain brake. Always put it back on, because as I said, that's one of the only things that I don't like about the saw, is that it does not come with an off button, like none at all. There's no dead man's trigger. Of course, you've got this button that you have to press in before pressing in the gas throttle. Like on some of the other saws, you've got a power button on the battery. But on this one, this button is just for checking your battery gauge. So as soon as I put in a battery in this chainsaw, it's on all the freaking time. So my only real stop button is my chain brake. So I cannot stress that enough. Always use your chain brake, and especially when you're using battery powered chainsaws. Also remember to take out the battery every time you're not using it, because one, you don't want to accidentally turn it on at some point, and two, then you can recharge it, and just that's a safety feature for you. So just take it out, make it happen. Another really nice thing about a battery powered chainsaw is that you've got less maintenance to do. It's not good for somebody like me, because I do like to do the maintenance, but it's really easy for people who don't have the time or the feel for maintenance, I should say, because you've got your battery in here, and of course you get a lot of dust and things like that in there, so you would do well in just giving that a nice blow sometimes with compressed air. But that's pretty much everything you need to do. Clean that up, clean up the area inside this cover in here, and that's pretty much it. You're done. So that's really nice for the lazy people. Yeah, I said that. This chainsaw is equipped with a 14-inch bar and a 3/8-inch steel picot chain. And yeah, as I said, it just performs really well. I do think that you can get it with a 16-inch bar as well in the US, but not sure. Back here we have it with the 14-inch bar. At work we've been comparing this chainsaw to a 201, just to see not the actual performance, because they are two different saws, but to see how long this saw runs on a battery versus how long the 201 runs on a tank of gas. And it's been really interesting to see, because it actually, you can't do it 100% unless you do like a timed cutting the same size wood and just continue until both of them stops running. But it's been interesting to see, just in work situations, do I feel like I'm changing the battery more than I'm filling up the fuel tank? And it actually seems like they're pretty similar. Some days I can use this almost an entire work day, delimbing, cutting up smaller things, felling smaller trees, and then it works almost the entire work day, 8 hours. And other times, when I'm cutting up, of course, bigger pieces of wood, it runs out a lot faster, but that's the same with the fuel powered chainsaw. So I don't really feel that much of a difference. But then again, with the battery, I will say you can use 3 different kinds of batteries for this chainsaw: the AP 100, 200, and 300. And I feel a big difference when working with this chainsaw with the other batteries. So when I'm working with the 100 battery, it's like, why isn't it cutting as well as it did yesterday? I mean, yesterday I was so surprised about the cutting performance, and today it's just like, But that turned out to be the battery. I would assume that it didn't change anything other than how long I could use it. But I feel a big difference in the performance of the chainsaw when using the other batteries. So when I'm using the MSA220, I'm only using the 300 AP 300 as battery, because that's when this saw really performs. So I wouldn't recommend getting any of the other batteries. This baby right here, she needs the 300 battery. I will put in a video showing you things that we've cut with this saw, because both me and my boss got really excited about the performance. So we ended up cutting like really big pieces, but you'll see that in the video, of wood. And it just goes through really, really nicely. With this saw, I feel even more than with gas chainsaws that you really have to make the saw work itself. Just don't add pressure, because as soon as you start adding the extra pressure, that's when it will be like, yeah, no, it's not happening. So just let it run, let it work itself, and don't use force, because then it will treat you really nice. And I promise you will be surprised about the performance of this baby right here. But I will also say I feel it stops faster than some of the other saws I work with if you're adding too much pressure. But you feel that with gas chainsaws too. It's just, I think it's more noticeable with a battery chainsaw. Chargers, you can get different ones. I really, really like this AL500 charger because it's super fast, and it feels like I can just pop in the battery, go in, make myself some coffee, drink it, come back out, and it'll be charged. So another thing I really, really like about this chainsaw is the fact that you can use it in noise sensitive areas, because the noise level is so low compared to normal chainsaws. I like that it's a lightweight chainsaw. It fits nicely in your hands, performs really well, and there's not much maintenance to do. What I don't like about it is the fact that I'm missing my dead man's trigger up here, and also I would like to have a on-off button, just something, or you know, a battery indicator, something like that, telling me, hey man, your chainsaw's still on. Because as I said, you can't see it. I'll put in the battery just to show you. But now my chainsaw is on and ready to go, and nothing is lighting up here. Nothing on the chainsaw indicates that it's actually on. And what I can do is I can press this button here, but that just shows me the battery gauge and nothing else. So now I know I've got plenty of battery, but I can't see that the chainsaw's on. And I'm not wearing chainsaw pants, so I'll take this off again. I'm not turning it on accidentally. But yeah, then you've got the chain brake, and you've got the extra button down here. I'll show you back here as well. This button that you need to press in order to press in here, and in order for it to run. You'll get used to that really quickly and just press that in without even thinking about it. But I would love for STIHL to make a chainsaw like this, but just with the indicator that it is actually on. We've used this saw for felling, cutting down smaller trees, medium-sized trees, for cutting up firewood, delimbing. What else? Yeah, we actually we love climbing with this chainsaw because, well, in general, I love climbing with battery-powered chainsaws because I hate the pulling part when I'm in the tree. But this it has the extra power, and it's really nice to work with. So it's actually become one of our favorite climbing saws. So what I wish is that STIHL will make this in a top handle version, so I can climb with that instead of this back handle version. So that's on the wish list, STIHL. So I hope you enjoyed today's video as well, and that it gave you some idea of what this baby can do. And if you've got any questions, feel free to put it in the comments, and I do my very best to reply. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram, follow me there. My account is FemaleLumberjack, and you can find me on Facebook at Felixia Banck. Until next time, stay safe and have a great day, Treble. See ya. So, that's good. Sorry, itchy. Church bells. The throttle, the gas. So that's a nice detail. Let's just take that when I'm not burping. What else? Poison. So stay tuned, stay safe, stay tuned. And it's gone. There we go. So yeah, just remember the oil, really important.